It is being called a case of domestic terrorism. 6 people murdered at a suburban Milwaukee Sikh temple. The suspect, who also died Sunday, discharged from the army in 1998 after being demoted. So what is the history of Sikhism in America, and what is the Sikh religion? Here to help us gain an understanding of the religion is Ravi Singh, spokesperson for the Illinois Sikh Community Center. Mr. Singh, welcome to Chicago Tonight, and our condolences to what has happened in your community.
Sure.
We're taping you early because of a vigil, but according to reports, police are still searching for a specific motive, but the shooter is a discharged Army veteran and a racist advocate of white power. What is your reaction to that information about the shooter?
First of all, we're very saddened by what has happened, and we're still in a state of shock. Our community is very young in this country, and we've never encountered or dealt with anything like this. To find that this was racially motivated or could be racially motivated or pre-planned is just even a bigger shock for us, because how does a community that has always prided itself on being American, we know that we're a visible minority with the turban and beard, but
you yourself raised in Naperville, went to Marmion Military Academy,
exactly.
To Aurora.
I'm from Wayne's World as much as anyone else. I love this city, I love my country, and then to see this happen, immediately just says why and what has happened and why did this guy do this. So in the last couple hours, our community has been woken up to that question this morning, and we're facing a question. Bigger question is that have we done such a poor job of living in this country? My father, for example, immigrating here and not doing a good job educating people on who we are as Sikhs, as Sikh Americans. So it is very painful to see that this could be racially motivated. And now how do we deal with it as a community is our biggest next challenge.
How many Sikhs are there in the Chicago area?
Approximately, estimates are anywhere from 15 to 20,000. Nationwide, we have a latest census was over 500,000.
And the connection between the Chicago area Sikh community and the people in Oak Creek?
It's very close. And in fact, most Sikhs immigrated here in the late 1800s in the United States, actually as lumberjacks in California, and actually came here to work on the railroads. And then settled in Yuba City in California. So we actually have second and third generations out here. And then in Chicago area, 1960s and 1980s, we saw that migrations move out here. So then they spread to Milwaukee and Indiana and Wisconsin and that area, Michigan.
How would you explain Sikhism to someone who knows nothing about your religion?
I think in a nutshell, Sikhism is a monotheistic faith. It's a belief in one universal God. My parents sent me to, as you said, military academy, which was run by Catholic monks. And my mother and father told me that in order for me to appreciate Sikhism, I first had to appreciate other religions. So I think right there sort of shows you the universality of the faith.
In fact, my understanding is the writings of Sikhism incorporate the writings of saints of other faiths.
That's actually very good. Not too many reporters have asked me that question, but that's exactly true. Sikhism has always been, since 1469, it's the second youngest religion in the world. And it being such a young religion, it believed in that universality. We don't believe in converting people. It believes in a universal faith, it believes in tolerance. We believe that we have an obligation to do the right thing in society. So this uniform that we wear, the turban, the beard, the bracelet, these symbols identify our commitment to actually go ahead and represent ourselves as Sikhs. In India, where Sikhism originated from 1469 to 1699, when the faith was being born, Sikhism was coming through a time where religious equality was not there. And so it really...
Inequality in the sexes. That women can lead services in your faith
exactly.
as well. There are 5 Ks of Sikhism,
yes.
And let's go through them real quickly.
Sure.
Kesh, which refers to uncut hair.
Correct.
Kara is the steel bracelet you
right.
just alluded to.
Right.
The Kanga is the wooden comb.
Correct.
Kacha, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Kacha is the cotton underwear, and Kirpan is the steel sword that one carries.
That's correct.
Where is the steel sword carried? I understand it can vary from 3 inches long to longer.
Right, exactly. I mean, all 5 symbols have a specific significance, but all 5 symbols identify you as a Sikh. And if you give me a couple minutes, I'll explain real briefly each one.
No,
okay.
Actually, we don't have time for each one.
You want the Kirpan?
Yeah, just
the Kirpan came because Sikhs have a strong military tradition. We're known as saints and soldiers. And so the kirpan was basically always to be raised in in the hands of defense. Meaning
defending the people who were powerless or being treated unfairly and so on.
That's exactly right. And especially, so if you go today to India, they say, if you need directions, ask a Sikh. You know, when my father said, when you see someone on the side of the road, you have to help them. I mean, that was the code of conduct. So Sikhs believe in the right to bear arms. We're very strong in that concept. We also believe very firmly in a strong military tradition. In fact, 1/3 of the British colonial army were Sikhs. And so when India's independence was being created, 80% of the lives given for India's independence were Sikhs.
Interesting.
And we were only 2% of the population.
But back to carrying it, because in this country, carrying it can be a problem if one is
correct.
faithful to the tradition, going to school, going to college.
Correct.
So where do most people carry the sword?
Usually they carry it on the side, on the left-hand side.
Do you have one with you now?
I do not have one with me right now. Sometimes we carry it in our turban as well. And it has become part of the symbols of Sikhism, where basically you're not obligated, but if you choose to do so, you wear all 5 symbols. These symbols are, you have to understand, are a uniform for the faith, right? And it is very important as a Sikh that we represent those ideals and values. And I think the heroic actions of actually the president at the Gurdwara in Milwaukee, you know, him throwing himself in defense of the other people, you know, as reports are coming in, is a sign of Sikh courage.
Your symbols, though, with the turban
Correct.
specifically, for people who don't know any better,
Yes.
you're often confused with being Muslims or Arabs. How do you respond to that confusion?
Well, we don't like to compare ourselves to other faiths because that actually goes against the tenets of Sikhism. But yes,
But there is this visual.
There is this visual misidentity crisis that we face, and I know so growing up in the United States, when Ayatollah Khomeini issue happened, when the Palestinian issue happened, when we had the Persian Gulf War, and then after 9/11, we've always faced this challenge of identifying or telling people that we're Sikh and we're Sikh Americans. It is an educational challenge, and it is an educational battle that even after this incident, we realize that we must continue to fight because people don't know the difference between the turbans. They don't understand why a Sikh is required to wear a turban in order to be a Sikh.
Ravi Singh, thank you so much for stopping by. This is very helpful information. Thank you.
No, I appreciate it, and thank you for having me on your show.